Let's welcome to the show from the House GOP Doctors Caucus. He's Congressman Scott DesJarlais. It's great to have you back on, Congressman. We're going to stay on the story of the footage we unearthed showing Dr. Fauci on camera admitting, yes, he and the NIH were funding and supporting dangerous research to create genetically superviruses in labs for new drugs and vaccines. So we have been staying on the story since the pandemic began. We understand that every time you bring up that it could have leaked, that Dr. Fauci's response is, this is just conspiracy talk, right? We know we reported already last year on camera, he shut down scientists who warned in January 2020 this could have leaked out of a lab. What are you guys going to do in Congress if you guys get back control? Are you going to call him in again? Are you going to try to remove him from office? What are you guys going to do?
Yeah, well, first of all, congratulations and great job on uncovering that story. I watched that segment, and Dr. McCary is one of my favorites. He's spoken at our doctors' caucus meetings before, and what a great guy and a thought leader. He'd be a great replacement for Dr. Fauci if he'd have the job. But I do think that we have a very good chance of taking back control, and there's so many things that really do need to be investigated that matter. And Dr. Fauci has proven that he's not being transparent with the American people. He admitted that he lied about the herd immunity, and now he's been exposed through you and other emails that he was dishonest with the American people about the origins of the virus, and that's incredibly dangerous. And I think his reasoning is that the American people can't handle the truth, when the exact opposite is true. It sows mistrust. His ideas are antiquated, they're obsolete. He needs to go. He should resign, and I do think he needs to be investigated and possibly prosecuted for lying to Rand Paul. And when he disagrees with his colleagues, he's more of a politician than physician. Dr. Marshall he called a moron. Dr. Paul he called an idiot. And any doctor with that kind of an ego probably needs to go and shouldn't be in that kind of position.
Dr. DesJarlais, your point's well taken. Let's watch this again. What we broke last night. Watch this.
Questions have come up about the concern of the danger of people that you fund. NIAID, NIH, certainly CDC, only funds and conducts gain-of-function research on H5N1 highly pathogenic avian influenza viruses for researchers who are highly trained, skilled, experienced, and adequately regulated. There's disagreements as to the scientific and/or public health value of these experiments. But I believe the people who feel that they shouldn't be conducted are in the minority, because even the most concerned members of NSABB felt that the experiments should be done, but the distribution of the knowledge should be restricted.
It is astounding, Dr. DesJarlais, what he has been saying. The people who oppose to this are in the minority. He also said in 2012, if a pandemic leaks out, still the benefits outweigh the risk of creating in laboratories supercharged pathogens. Let's go through it. More than 50 lab accidents over the last century, hundreds, this is around the world, where pandemics leaked out. And here in the U.S., hundreds of lab accidents. So we're supposed to be okay with that?
Yeah, you got to wonder what he's going to say. 5 million people around the world dead of this virus, over almost approaching 1,900,000 in the United States have died. It's turned our economy, the world's economy, upside down. For 2 years, we've been forced with moving goalposts on rules where we're not really following the science. CDC just reported 5 days ago, and it didn't get much coverage. You should do a deeper dive into this, that the natural immunity is more effective than the vaccine on the Delta variant, which I think was probably the most deadly variant that we had. And those studies were done in New York and California. The CDC is admitting that, but yet our heroes, our healthcare heroes that have been in the trenches for 2 years are getting terminated and now being villainized because they're not vaccinated. Most of these people probably have natural immunity, and why the government continues to ignore that as a vaccination status is just undeniably unbelievable.
Yeah, and the NIH is not studying that. And it's an important point you're making. We're going to bring it up later in the show. Since '92, scientists worldwide, 11 different experiments where they successfully turned normal viruses into supercharged pathogens. Dr. Fauci has said they're doing oversight, that these are highly regulated. Then he testifies he can't track it all. He tells the Wall Street Journal, it's impossible for us to be aware of what Wuhan lab was doing with this research. So you see, it's on the one hand, on the other hand. How can he get away with this kind of doublespeak and double talk? And now he's saying children 4 or younger should get 3 doses, when those clinical trials have not been proven out. The trials are still underway.
Yeah, they're using our kids as guinea pigs. That age group is not susceptible to serious illness. Less than 1/1000% of the deaths in the United States were in kids of that age group. And most of the kids that have died had some other coexisting condition, as we're finding out. Even the CDC is admitting that all these COVID deaths that they're reported, a lot of people came to the hospital with heart attack and died of that, but they coincidentally had COVID. Kids is a different case. We don't need to experiment on kids. They don't get as sick, and you can see the death numbers that it's very, very small among kids. And I think if you look at the adverse reactions of the vaccine, it's much, much greater. You have a bigger chance of going to the hospital from the shot than you do from COVID at that age group.
We're going to stay on this story. Congressman DesJarlais, thanks for joining us. It's a developing story. We're going to stay on it. We'll have you back on. It's good to see you.